For tens of thousands of years, humans lived as travelers in a world that did not belong to them. We moved with the seasons. We followed animals across open landscapes. Nothing tied us permanently to a single place. Our ancestors were physically and mentally identical to us, yet their lives were built on movement, not ownership. They left almost no lasting mark on the earth. Then something changed. In a remarkably short moment of history, humans abandoned mobility and began to anchor themselves to the land. This shift, from roaming foragers to settled farmers, was not just a cultural adjustment. It was one of the most dramatic transformations in human biology and society. Contrary to popular myths, early hunter-gatherers were not constantly starving. Archaeological evidence reveals populations that were strong, tall, and well-nourished. Their diets were diverse. Their societies were largely egalitarian. Without the ability to store large surpluses, wealth could not accumulate, and power remained temporary. Mobility was freedom. If tensions arose, groups separated and moved on. For thousands of years, this balance held until the climate stabilized after the last ice age. Around 12,000 years ago, warmer conditions created regions of unusual abundance. In the Near East, wild grains grew in dense clusters, and animal herds migrated predictably. Some communities discovered that they could remain in one place longer than ever before. These early settlers did not immediately invent farming. They first became sedentary hunter-gatherers. Permanent homes emerged. Burial grounds connected families to specific locations. For the first time, land became associated with memory and ancestry. But settlement triggered an unexpected chain reaction. With fixed homes, birth rates increased. Villages expanded. Local ecosystems began to strain under the pressure of growing populations. When climate conditions suddenly worsened, natural food sources declined. Communities faced a difficult choice: return to a mobile lifestyle and reduce their numbers, or intervene in nature itself. They chose intervention. By clearing land and managing wild plants, humans gradually crossed a threshold into agriculture. Farming was not adopted as a luxury. It was a survival strategy born from necessity. This decision carried hidden costs. Early agricultural diets became heavily dependent on grains, reducing nutritional diversity. Skeletal remains show declining height and increasing physical stress. Repetitive labor damaged joints and spines. Permanent settlements also created ideal conditions for infectious diseases to spread among dense populations living close to domesticated animals. Yet agriculture supported far more people per unit of land. Population growth accelerated despite declining individual health. And with permanence came a new problem: strangers living side by side. Unlike mobile societies, farmers could not easily walk away from conflict. Land represented months of labor. It had to be defended. Stored food became both security and temptation. Walls appeared. Organized violence followed. Hierarchy emerged as coordination became necessary. Managing irrigation, protecting resources, and organizing labor required leadership. Over time, temporary authority hardened into permanent inequality. In Mesopotamia, irrigation systems transformed hostile floodplains into productive farmland. Maintaining canals demanded large-scale cooperation and centralized control. Cities rose as engineered environments sustained by constant human effort. Urban life introduced a new reality. Thousands of unrelated individuals now shared confined spaces. Social cohesion shifted from personal relationships to institutions. At the heart of early cities stood administrative centers that controlled land, labor, and food distribution. Standardized ration systems replaced independent production. Writing emerged not as literature, but as accounting, a technology for managing complexity and enforcing obligations. With expansion came organized warfare. Kings consolidated power by offering protection in exchange for loyalty and labor. Captives became a workforce integrated into expanding infrastructures. Civilization increasingly rested on systems of coercion, as well as cooperation. Different regions developed distinct forms of authority. Egypt fused divine kingship with environmental stability. The Indus Valley built highly organized cities whose political structure remains mysterious. Across continents, independent civilizations followed similar structural pressures. Surplus produced population growth, growth demanded coordination, and coordination generated hierarchy. Agriculture did more than change how humans ate. It redefined our relationship with the planet and with each other. We exchanged mobility for permanence, equality for structure, and freedom for stability. Civilization was not a single invention, but a cascade of adaptations, a system that continues to shape human life today. And once humanity crossed that threshold, there was no return to the world we had left behind.